Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome. I know it's been a while, but we are back with top games of all time. That's right. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's been having a good holiday season so far. It's good to be back. I've been gone for a little while. There's been some things going on, but here we are. So, let's see who we got. Mike, who this? Dave's not here, man. Who is Dave? What's up, Mike? Tim's in the house. Evening, Mike. What's up, Tim? Got Curtis. Smash that like button so hard, Curtis. You're the man. See, Nate is still a brewmaster. Anyone heard from him at all? No, I have not. Maybe Freddie has. I've been meaning to reach out to him. Message him a few times. Okay. Bump down under Curtis under the. That's cool. I mean, I was. Freddie, I'll fix that after the video, man. Freddie, thank you, man. Just cut it today, man. Just cut it today. Thank you, Freddie. Frodo's in the house. Welcome back. Thank you. Tiffany, hey guys. What's up, Tiffany? Hope you've been well. Hump day. For a second, okay. Oh, man. So, yeah, here we are. Yeah, like I said, it's been a little while since I streamed. It's good to be back. I forgot how bright the lights were. I had to set up some stuff. The equipment's kind of been gathering some dust. But it's good to be back. Nice haircut, looking fresh. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. And yeah, so here we are with the top games of all time. Now, just to go over this a little bit, I was initially going to do the top 20. 50 is hard. For me, and even top 100 is, I gotta imagine that's even harder. But what happened was I had the top 10. I knew what that was. And then from there, it was kind of vague. I was thinking about, do I like this game more than this game? I was playing around with the list. And then so what I ended up doing was using Pub Meeple. If you guys haven't used this before, it's just kind of a ranking system. You can do various different things, drinks, whatever, and board games as well. So you just punch in all the games that you want to rank. And then so what it does is it pits two games head to head. So you would choose which game you prefer over the other one. So I just did that just to see what would happen. So then I just gathered a list of all games that I really enjoy. And it was more than 20. And then I was like, oh, crap, I forgot about, maybe Deep Rock Galactic. Oh, crap, I forgot about, even Blood Rage. So because some of the games are hidden behind other boxes. So I punched them all in, and the list was starting to get longer and longer. So I was like, okay, let's just rank these. We'll go through the list, see what happens. And then so that's what I did. So I was like, you know what, let's just go with 50. And I even put in, the total I put in was 64. I have more games than that, but some I really just haven't played all too much. I haven't played at all, so I didn't throw them in there. So I just said, let's just stick with 50. So that's what I did. The funny thing is, after I did that, the top 10 came out to be exactly how I chose, the list before even doing Pub Meeple. But the other ones, I feel pretty confident in how it ranked them. It's hard. It's hard for me to say, which game I prefer over another one. Any given day, I could choose one over the other. I'm also the kind of player that if I play a game recently, that's going to rank higher than it normally would. So that's just kind of where I'm at. All these games I really enjoy, even the games that aren't on this list. I think next year I'm going to try to do 100 just to, see what happens. And if the game isn't in the 50, it's either because I need to play it more, I don't feel comfortable enough to rank it, ahead of some others. But there's even some really good games that I like that didn't make it. Some really big surprises. The top 10 got shaken up quite a bit, and some games have dropped. Some are on the top 10 that weren't there last year, so very exciting stuff. I'm trying to think of what else to mention about this. Yeah, these could change at any moment. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Let's see. Good luck with the stream, sir. Tim, thank you so much. Looking forward to see your list. I'm glad you could take a break. Thank you so much, Tim. Appreciate that. Calling it now. Top 3 will be TMB, Uprising, and MC. That's a good call. 2 Monopolies and 7 Unos and 1 Clue. Top 10. Close, Mike. Really close. TMB for the win. That's what's up. Yeah, so Frodo, this shirt, my daughter's birthday was a few weeks ago, and she loves chicks, these little baby chicks. So my wife threw a chick-themed party. So she dressed up as a chick. She got me this shirt. It's pretty wild. So, whatever. I like it. But yeah, I try to do my Pub Meeple ranking once a year around this time. Yeah, and I was pleased with it. I was like, is that really, should I just put my heart into it and just, go through the list myself and not just, do side by sides? But, it's like I said, it's hard for me to just pick on my own with that, what I would rank over another. So I said, let's just go with Pub Meeple and we'll just, it worked out. I looked over the list a little bit and it looks fine. What's up, gentlemen? It's good to see you back, Andrew. White Rabbit Scribe, thank you so much. Appreciate that, man. Pub Meeple is awesome. Wonderland's War would be higher than Blood Rage. Wonderland's War is not on this list just because I only played it the one time. I am getting it soon. I can guarantee you it will be higher than Blood Rage, but it is not on the list because I only played it once. Yeah, JF, what's up, man? Yeah, this is only this is 50 to 40. 50 to 41. Yeah, Curtis was making that joke too. This would be all Too Many Bones expansions. What's up, fam? Ron, what's up, dude? Hope you've been well. All right, so without further ado, I think we will just get right into it. I don't know what that was for, Mike, but I'm all about it. Take that, Curtis. Okay. Okay, so let's just start with let's first talk real quick. The Everrain is on the list. It was super close. I didn't even play it, but it was just, the theme is so cool. I thought about just putting it on there. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk briefly about the 51. Again, I only threw 64 on there. I got plenty more games than that. A lot more. I could do well over 100, but these are the ones that I was like, where would they fall? I could see these being in the top 50. So some of note, Raiders of the North Sea. I think I mentioned this last year, that this would have been around like 11, 12, something like that. Raiders of the North Sea. I didn't play it at all this year. I still really enjoy the game, but I gotta be honest, I've played it a lot. It's just a lot of these other games. At this point, I'd rather just pull them off of the shelf. I still have, I have the deluxe of all Raiders of the North Sea, all the sleeves and everything. I got that special box too, but they even have an app for it now. So, you can play the app over that. So, just didn't play it, so it just dropped. It's number 51. I still really like it though. Quacks of Quedlinburg, it came in at 52. Man, I was kind of surprised about that. I have fond memories of playing this, with my wife and my stepson. Just a really fun bag builder. Keep the Heroes Out. I don't know, man. It's just pitting them head to head. It just didn't, other games just beat it out. Hate, Etherfields, Lord of the Rings LCG, Barman, the animated series, Terraforming Mars. I haven't played that in a long time. So a lot of these games I haven't played for a very long time, so they just fell a lot on the list. Still very good games. Some of these I will never part with. It's just for right now. I haven't played them for some time. If I play it again, they might just shoot up. Title Blades, even though I don't have Title Blades anymore, I still really like the game. It's just I'd rather pull out other stuff. Wingspan, Marvel United, Chronicles of Crime. Again, games I haven't played for a long time. Okay, so that is the 51 through 64. Quacks is so good. Quacks is really good. I do want to play that again. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I just haven't played it for some time. Sending Raiders to Valhalla. That's it. Nemesis Retaliation. I don't think so, Tim. I think I'm good with what I got. Yeah, Quacks is really good, man. Just a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Push your luck with it. Okay, so let's get into number 50. Um, and some of these games, even you guys on the Discord, I think you're going to be shocked by some of these games. I don't think I've ever even talked about these games on the Discord. Ether feels. I've never even talked about these games on the Discord, but fond memories. Some of these I haven't played for some time, but still the experience that I remember, the laughs with the family and friends and stuff, it's just keeping it around. So number 50 is actually Tainted Grail. Tainted Grail. So I think I've probably, if I had to guess, I've probably played through about 85% of this game. I played a lot of Tainted Grail without the app and with the app. If you do have this game and you don't have the app, get the app. It helps out so much. It saves a lot of time. But you're this character going around this land. There's this weirdness creeping in. But it's got some really interesting things with the combat and diplomacy. You have to set up these combos with these cards, and you can unlock these different traits and stuff. So when you're playing these cards, if you have that trait unlocked on your character, you can combine those cards even more. So you can have this huge turn if you have the correct cards, and you got to play them right to deal a certain amount of damage. And it's just a very unique system. And the diplomacy as well, so you have to basically play cards that connect to each other as well. But the diplomacy is a little bit different, that you have to raise the token to get it into the top green spot, and then you succeed at that. Really like this. The artwork is really cool. The theme is awesome. I love the unlocking the new traits. You're gathering food, getting magic and stuff like that, and just the branching story. You have to go around this world on these cards, kind of like a Seventh Continent type deal, and the artwork on those cards is really cool. And the story is fantastic. Like I said, I played through about 85% of it. Story is great. I highly recommend, if you're looking for a great story game, this is it. It can be tough. My biggest complaint about this is the menhirs. So in order to illuminate more of the map to travel to different locations, there's these statues that you have to light called menhirs, and that will uncover more of the map. The problem is there's a certain amount of turns that they will stay lit. So you have to acquire certain resources, and you don't know exactly what that is until you explore the menhir. So you have to pay that to light it. So then at the start of each turn, the amount of turns ticks down. So the problem really comes down to, like, if you get a menhir that only is going to last about 4 turns, okay, you spend a turn lighting the menhir. At the start of your turn, now it goes down to 3. Now you got to go around to different cards to explore the story. Maybe that part of the story you explored wasn't what you were looking for. Okay, that was your turn. Next turn, you only have 2 rounds left until the menhir goes out. Now you have to gather food. You have to go to a different tile to gather food or magic to then go back to the menhir, relight it to back up to max. So it can be really tedious and repetitive lighting the menhir. But I think in the new version, they either removed that or they've changed it in such a way that it is a lot more fluid. But either way, I still played with that. And, some tiles might be lit by multiple menhirs, which is cool. But the story is fantastic. Get the app. It has some audio behind it, some ambiance sounds. It reads out the text. It just makes it a lot smoother, a lot faster. But yeah, that is Tainted Grail. I do really like this game. I played the hell out of it. It just, other games got in the way. I packed it up, and I just haven't gotten it back out. So yeah. Tainted Grail. Yeah, Tainted Grail, man. Tainted Grail. House rule it or play with their upcoming 2.0 rules. Yeah, so that was the biggest thing. Or that probably would have saved countless hours without that relighting on the of the menhir. Dirty little secret games. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about some games that I've never talked about with you guys, for sure. I haven't, Michael. I didn't house rule any of it. By the time I packed it up, it was already packed up for quite some time before, even maybe considering house rules. or even, you know, before the campaign came out, that even hinted that they might change something like that. Add-ons getting a feel. Yeah, I think Ribby with the Nemesis. I'm kind of Nemesis out. I went all in on the previous campaigns, and I just dropping a few $100. I could get the standees, which is a lot cheaper, but maybe later. Okay. Yeah, automated Minears. Yeah, that would help out so much, so much. Okay, so that is Tainted Grail. The next one, 49. And again, love all these games. Where they ended up on the list, that was all Pub Meeple's fault. I just said, okay, I'd rather play this over this. Again, these could go up or down at any given day. This is Dwellings. Dwellings of Eldervale, 49. So this one I've only played solo. I know it's got from what I heard, a great multiplayer mechanic. So I've only played solo against the Ghosts of Eldervale. But this one's really cool. You have these elements, and at the start, you know, there's these 4 elements on the in the game, and so the board, you got to uncover different tiles on the board. It's going to expand, and you want to go to different tiles on the board to get more, to go higher in those elemental tracks. You can get out more workers. It's a worker placement game, and you can get out like warrior, dragon, sorcerer, stuff like that. And they each do slightly different thing. And what's cool is you can kind of build a dwelling, but your worker meeple turns into a dwelling. And then so at the end of the game, you're going to gain, whoever has the most points wins. And then so it's going to be multiplied by however high you are on the elemental track, depending on, you know, and times that by how many cards in your tableau. It's a tableau builder as well. And then so when you take back your workers and stuff like that, you can place them on your tableau. It's a really neat mechanic. But the Ghosts of Eldervale, I think they did a fantastic job on that. You roll dice to determine what action that the ghost is going to take. And so you're going to resolve the card, and then they're going to do different things. Combat is pretty straightforward. You're going to roll dice. You might have more dice than the opponent, but whoever rolls the highest is going to win. So very simple battle mechanic. It's kind of like Cthulhu Wars in a sense. But they did the Ghosts of Eldervale very good. And I've always found that the games that I have solo, they're always pretty close. It's not ever that the ghost is running away with the game. I say that, but I think in the playthrough that I did on the channel, I think I did get stomped by the ghost pretty handedly. But other than that, all the games I've played of it, I haven't played it for some time. I think the playthrough was the last game I played. All the other games have been pretty close, pretty straightforward. But I really like what they did with the solo. I like the theme. The artwork is really cool. I don't have the miniatures. I only have the standees. I think it's fine. But I do really like the games. Sometimes I do think that the stuff that I'm able to do with the tableau, like I wish I could do a little bit more. Because you're going to be spending a lot of resources. You're going to gather resources throughout the game, and you're going to purchase cards that pertain to certain elements. And again, so if you're going high on the nature track or whatever it's called, the green track, you know, you might want to buy more green cards. So then again, at the end of the game, however high you are on that green track will be multiplied by however many green cards you have in the tableau. But sometimes I feel like the stuff I'm able to do on the tableau, I just wish I could do a little bit more. Most of the time I'm finding, okay, I'm going to turn a worker into a dwelling. Okay, so maybe I only have 2 more workers to play with and maybe a dragon and a warrior. But I want to get one more worker because I already spent 1 to create the dwelling. So I'm going to put that on this track. So a lot of my cards sometimes can feel like wasted, not wasted space, but I wish I could do a little bit more. But either way, still really enjoy the game. Definitely a comedy channel. Dude, I just put them head to head, man. This is where it came out. Doesn't have the sound bases yet. Top 20 for sure. Yeah. Sound raising. Nice, Freddie. Nice. This is the comedy channel. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's Dwellings. Again, I do really like the game. Andromeda's Edge could not fix, but address some of those issues that I do have with it. I'd also be curious to play this multiplayer. It could come out, a lot different than the solo. I might like it a little bit more. I need to play it a few more times, and it could rise. But for now, yeah, 49. Standing Nemi for Mike. Okay, that was 49. Okay, Dwellings, 48. 48. This is Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane at 48. This is another game I'm actually trying to get rid of. I'm trying to sell. I still really like the game, and I'll explain why I'm trying to get rid of it. But Solomon Kane, based on the stories of Robert E. Howard's Solomon Kane, it comes with a lot of storybooks that you're going to play through. The game is broken down into two different acts, if you will, a story mode and then a scene. But basically in the story mode, you're just playing cards, and you're going to roll dice, and then so you're going to allocate those dice to different cards that you have, and basically you're trying to light your way through this story. And then depending on the result that you have, is going to change up the scene slightly. And then so in the scene, you're going to control this virtue, it's called. The solo mode is slightly different than the multiplayer. Multiplayer, everybody's controlling a different type of virtue. They're better at slightly different things. But the solo mode, you have I forget what the virtue is called. But on the board, the scene, that's where you're going to have your board. You're going to have minis and stuff like that moving around Solomon Kane. But as the virtue, you're guiding Solomon Kane. You're not playing as him directly. And so what you're trying to do is complete certain quests. And so you're going to have to interact with different standees, villagers, talk to them. Maybe you have to hunt something down, a wolf or, some other sort of demon. And then so throughout the game, you're also going to be using those same dice and card mechanics, rolling the dice, allocating those, and performing different actions depending on the dice that you roll. I really like that element. So you might play a card that's really good, but then after you use that card, you have to cycle it back. But the way that the game is set up, you can cycle that card really fast back into your hand to then play again. And then so throughout the game, you're going to these ghosts, I forget what they're called, the darkness, is going to be trying to hunt you down. And when they get into your space, some bad things are going to happen. It's really thematic. One of the biggest things I like about these kinds of like thematic story games is that they provide the story throughout the entire game. So you might interact with a villager. They're going to give you some backstory, some more dialogue, really getting you invested into the game even more. So you kind of feel like you're doing the mission at all times. It's not like you're reading a paragraph of story. You're playing a 2-3 hour game, and then after you're reading another small bit of text. You get the story all throughout the game, and I really enjoy that. I played through a few of the stories. I got a bunch of, I think 3 playthroughs on the channel. I did a review of this game. I really like it. The minis are fantastic. The quality of the components is top notch. They're huge. The core box comes with 2 boxes this size, so they take up a lot of space. But the reason why I'm selling it is I've played enough Solomon Kane, and the biggest problem that I have is that each time I go to play a scenario, I have to track down errata. So this is a Mythic Games game, and so a few other games have this errata that you got to use. And I just found it started to become too annoying for me that, okay, I'm going to play this scenario. Now I got to track down the errata. Okay, now there's actually a bunch of cards. Because what happened was, in a few of the stories I'd play through, I'd read a card, and it made absolutely no sense. It would take me back to doing a task or something that I already did. It would turn into a dead end. So I'd have to track down the errata. And if you look at the errata, they even sold a whole errata pack. There's just so much for it. So that kind of put me off. So combined with already playing a lot of Solomon Kane, I was like, okay, let's send it to somebody else. I'm probably not going to pull it off the shelf that much. Even though I love what it does, I'm good. So that's kind of where I ended with Solomon Kane. Um, yes, most of these games are ranked as solo plays. Yep, correct. I will call out when it was a multiplayer experience, and that's some of those are why they're that high is from those multiplayer plays. Man, I thought that'd be higher. Which one? This one right here, Solomon Kane. We just finished 48. SBGK just finished 48. No, I didn't. I did not back Nemesis Retaliation. No, I'm gonna pass. I got everything else for Nemesis. I'm good for now. Maybe I'll pick it up later. Pick it up later. So yeah, Solomon Kane. I am selling it, like I said. So if anybody is interested, let me know. Again, I'm trying to give it to a better home at this point. Somebody that's actually going to play the game. It is a very good game. You might just have to track down that errata pack or just look online for that. Okay. 46. No, I'm sorry, 47. 47. This is going to be Champions of Midgard. I haven't played this game for a long time. And I have very fond memories playing this game. This is one of my earlier acquisitions when I got into board gaming. But really like this. I love the theme. I love the Norse stuff. If you guys don't know already, love the Viking stuff. So this is a worker placement. You're going to be gathering these warriors that have different colored dice. They roll different symbols. So then you're going to have to battle these trolls and draugrs and stuff like that. So some of the enemies, they say you can't use axes to battle. So you're going to try to be gathering these warriors and trying to battle these things. And so you're going to get points, you're going to get coins and stuff like that. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. But it's really cool in the fact that, sometimes you might want to work together to defeat an enemy. Not work together. I think multiple people can allocate warriors to a spot. If I'm remembering correctly, like I said, it's been a while. But even so, you're going to try to be gathering food and wood and stuff like that. You can travel across the sea to fight bigger monsters to get you more points and stuff like that. So, and you got to buy these new ships that might have, more spaces for warriors and stuff like that. You're going to have to reveal cards that might say rough seas. So you might have to lose some warriors, lose some food, pay different amount of resources. You can get different item cards and stuff like that that might help you in different ways. So it's really fun. The board is fantastic. I love the artwork. Very simple worker placement game. The expansions for it, I highly recommend those as well. So especially the Valhalla expansion, what happens is when your warriors die in combat, you're now going to get tokens in for the afterlife. So you're going to have all these tokens, and you can use those tokens to pay for different cards, and then those cards might give you some sort of buff. You're playing as this Viking leader, this Jarl, and each Jarl has a slightly different ability. Really cool. I really like this one. It's been a long time since I played it. But like I said, I have really good memories playing this with my wife and stepson. Just a great game. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Stretch pay. It's possible, JF. It's possible about stretch pay for that. Just didn't feel it was worth it. Yeah. A lot of retaliations. Lockdown. Yeah, it depends on the store, but yeah. Talking about getting games afterwards. Yeah, I think it's going to be possible. I think it's going to be possible to get retaliation after the campaign, but yeah. So yeah, that is Champions of Midgard. That is 47. 47 Champions of Midgard. I've been meaning to play that again sometime soon, but without the solo mode, I don't even know if there is a solo mode. There might be something on BGG, but I think even if there is one, still, that's like a multiplayer only in my eyes. The food chip that's shaped like a chicken. I'm forgetting that if I've seen it. Okay. Okay. Next one up is 46. 46. This is a game I got semi-recently, I guess you could say. But this is Masters of the Universe. So a kind of a simple dice chucker. But you're going to be playing as, in the Herman universe. So you're going to you're going to control 3 characters, and I should say off the bat, this is a 1 versus many. So one person is going to control the enemies, or you could even play as the heroes, and the other person is going to play, or the other players, as different heroes or villains. It's pretty cool that you can interchange. The one can play as either the heroes or the bad guys. I think that's pretty cool. But I've only played this solo, and I actually used a slightly altered version of the solo mode that comes in the game. It's the Nichols variant. It's on BGG. I think at this point he's revamped that even since I did my playthrough of that. But the solo mode is really well done. So you're going to be controlling 3 characters, and you're going to be going up against 3 characters and like a minion type. But you're going to gain this power throughout. And what's cool is the track. So it has this track where, you might have like I guess you could say the initiatives. So the enemy is going to place their cards at certain spaces. You don't know which enemy might activate at what time. And then in between those, you're going to place your cards. So it's going to alternate between the enemy and you. So what's cool about that is, depending on what space they are in that track, they're going to gain a certain amount of power. And so with this power, you can do various different things. You can do a stronger ability, stuff like that. So you're going to upgrade your character throughout the game and stuff like that. Each character has different abilities. Herman can take out multiple enemies, stuff like that. But it's a really simple dice chucker. I'm trying to think a good comparison. It's kind of like a Conan-esque type deal. So the cards that are going to be drawn for the AI deck, that's going to tell, say, okay, the minions are going to do something different. If they have 5 power available, then they're going to do this special ability. Same thing with the actual enemy boss characters that they're controlling as well. If they have a certain amount of power, they're going to do different stuff. They might boost other, like Skeletor, I think he boosts other people's activations, something like that. It's been a while. But the board is fantastic. It's one of my favorite looking battlefield boards. I have the terrain for it as well. I painted that up. It looks glorious. But it's very simple in terms of, line of sight, range, stuff like that. What you need to roll. You get 2 activations. So it's very simple dice chucker. Had a lot of fun. Been meaning to play it again. It's just, other games got in the way. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so SBGK, so the solo, again, I heard back when I got it, there was going to be a FAQ put out for the game by Simon. I don't know if that's happened. It's been a while since I even did any kind of research into the game. But the variant that comes in the box, there was some questions that I had. I think the rulebook could have been done a little bit better. But the Nichols variant, this guy designed he took the system that came in the box. He has cards that you can print out, the artwork that he put on the cards. It's very well done. Even at that time that I did the playthrough, I thought it was a lot better than the version that came in the game. And I think, like I said, since then, there's been multiple different versions. He's tweaked it, made it a lot better. So using that version, I could recommend it for solo. You don't need everything for it. There's a ton of stretch goals that came in this. The CMON standard. You don't need all that stuff. Core box is going to be enough. But it's just a really cool dice chucker. Really cool dice chucker. Loved it. There you go, Ribby. Yeah. First intro to gaming. You always remember your first. Yeah, man. You got that nostalgia. That's right, Ron. With the gray skull miniature, yeah, I don't have that one, but yeah, you can get that big gray skull. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so that was 46. 46. Okay, so 45. Let's go over to this side. 45. I never spoke about this game But this is Western Legends. So this is one of those I have really good memories playing with my wife, stepson. Played this game a lot when I first got it. This was years ago at this point. It's been a long time since I played this game. But I love the theme. I love the Western stuff. And what's cool is it's a sandbox type game, and you can choose whether to be, an outlaw or, on the good side, depending on the actions that you take. So kind of like a Zaya, if you will. So there's going to be bandits throughout the board. There's going to be a sheriff. There's going to be banks, saloons, and stuff like that. So you can freely go to any space on the board. You can wrangle cattle. So you're basically like stealing the cattle and you can sell them off. And that's going to take you higher on the outlaw track. Or you can rob other players. You can get into duels and stuff like that. So maybe you want to go higher on the outlaw track. You want to rob the bank, right? Or maybe you want to go higher on the, I forget what the other track's called, but on the good side. So maybe you want to fight some bandits, or you want to go to that outlaw player and you're like, I'm taking you in, right? So you're going to battle them. What's cool is the battle, you have these poker cards. You each choose one, play them face up. You can also use those cards for actually playing a kind of light version of poker, and you can get different amounts of money and stuff like that. And that's what you're also going to try to do. So you're going to try to gain money throughout the game. You want to buy new gear, new weapons. Maybe you want to get a horse because your base movement is only like 2, I believe. But with the horse now it's 4. But this whole sandbox element of it is really fun. Just being able to go wherever you want to. And then so at the end of the game, or whoever gets to... and what's cool is you can play different lengths of the game. So if you don't want to play a full, 25-point game, maybe you want to play a 15-point game. So whoever gets the 15 points, there's like a last round in there or something that everybody adds up their points afterwards. But just being able to freely, go wherever you want to. I love sandbox games. I love this theme of it. It doesn't take itself too serious. I feel like the comeback mechanic is pretty easy in this as well. So it's not a lot of like overthinking about your turns. If you just move 2 spaces, do something else, so what? Not everybody's going to have the best moves in this game. But I really like it. I didn't get any more. Like I know there's the Ante Up expansion. I think there's Blood Money expansion. Those look cool, but I think they might add a little bit too much to take away from what just this box does. And I really like this. I've been meaning to play this for quite some time. It's just, I don't think I'll ever get rid of it because of what it does, but it's multiplayer only, so I just haven't been able to get it to the table for quite some time. Dimitri, what's up, man? What is up? Let's see. Oh, okay, I did, Mike. Okay, awesome. I can't remember. It's been a long time. Okay, cool. All in all the time, the core box and standees. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Got Western Legend based on Trey Parker's recommendation. That's what's up. Marshall track. Thank you. Yep, that's it. Thank you, Dimitri. You as well, man. Yeah, so that's Western Legends. Very good game. Okay, so next up is 44. 44. This one came as kind of a surprise, but I really like this, man. There's some games, there's just something about the game I just like, and I really like this one. I got rid of Dinosaur Island. Wasn't too big a fan of that. I am a fan of this. This is my Jurassic Park game. I love dinosaurs. I love this theme. I love the movies. So in this game, you're going to be building your own park, and so you're going to be having this tour, taking these tourists around your park, gaining different amounts of coins and excitement levels. So at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. But what I really like about this one is, first off, the art and just the board presence is infinitely better than Dinosaur Island, which is a huge reason why I'm keeping this. But at the start of your turn, you're going to be drafting these different cards that are going to have different workers. And what's cool is there's different color workers on the cards. And the different colors, they have slightly different benefits if you place those on different actions. So you can use like any worker to build a dinosaur or something like that. But if you use like maybe a green color worker to use on that spot, you know, you might get a slight benefit. Or if you use the purple worker on the Jeep action, that's going to get you a slightly higher benefit than if you use like a white worker. Stuff like that. I just think that's really cool. You have a different amounts of cards. You can draft those. I've only played this solo, so that's what I'm recommending this from. But I really like that. The dinosaur meeples are really cool as well. The artwork on them is neat. Just, you know, getting different DNA. I've always liked that. Even in Dinosaur Island, going up on these DNA tracks, I think that's really cool. And then spending those DNA to actually produce these dinosaurs. And then so you're building these dinosaurs in your park, which is really cool. And again, the artwork is really nice. But after you build those, then you're going to have your Jeeple tour. So even if you have this sprawling park, you had a bunch of different pens, bunch of different dinosaurs in different pens, you still only have a limited amount of spaces that your Jeeple can travel to. So you might say, okay, well, I want to go to this. This is going to get me the most excitement. That's going to get me the most coins so that I can spend, you know, or do whatever on my next turn. So I'm going to choose this path. And then what happens is after you visit those places, the excitement in future turns is going to go down. So you're going to get less the next time you visit those places. People are starting to get bored seeing the same things all the time. So now you can choose different paths that your Jeeple is going to go down. There's just something about this. It doesn't, like, there's nothing that really blows me away about it, but it's just the whole drafting of the workers, that they can do different things and have a slightly different benefit, building up the DNA, constructing dinosaurs, which I love the theme, and then the whole Jeeple tour. It just comes together. And the board presence, it just does something that I just like. I really like it. I got the deluxe, so the coins are super cool as well. They got like the skull of like a T-Rex on them and stuff. Just really cool. I just really like what it does. And Jeeple, yeah, Jeeple's such a funny word. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Thank you, SBGK. Appreciate that, man. Okay. Dino World is big. The only thing that I'm trying to get still is the 3 expansions for it. I don't have those, but I do really want those. But even at like retail, I think it's like $20 a pop. I can't do it. If there's some sort of sale, I could. There's still enough in here, but I do want those expansions. It's like hybrid. There's like a water, and then there's like an ice age type deal. Run Right is really good as well. Keeps a lot of mechanics that Dinosaur World has. Mixes certain things up. I heard that was good as well. Yeah, I've actually never tried a roll and write. Dinos is escaping is the best part. Yeah, you get the what is it called? Like it's like thread or something. I don't know. Yeah, the dinosaur. I think they can escape, right? I know they can escape in Dinosaur Island. I know if the threat meter is out of control, you get like you get a certain amount of I forget what it's called, but then you subtract your points based on however many of those bad tokens that you have. I think they do escape. I'm trying to remember. I have a solo playthrough. I'm just forgetting. Sometimes I just forget mechanics of games. Okay. Next up is 43. 43. This one is a huge box. Yeah, they escape their paddocks. Yeah, that's right. Everdell. This is almost as big as the frame. This is the big box complete collection. Outrageous size. This thing is bigger than your microwave. So yeah, Everdell. I've had this for a long time. I got the core box, and then there was a Kickstarter with the complete collection. I ended up getting that, or not the complete collection. I believe like the deluxe. There's been like a lot of different variants, and then they came out with the complete collection, another Kickstarter. I jumped into that. Me and my wife, we really like this game. I love the theme of it. I think the board layout is super cool. I love, being like in this little world of these little creatures and stuff like that. It's got this cool tree that I always set up. Uh, and you can gather these different resources, and the components in there, even in the core box, are really nice. It feels like they're upgraded stones, twigs and berries. It's just really cool. So what you're trying to do is, from these cards that you're playing, you're trying to build this, your own, what is it, your town, but you're building out. You can build, have 15 cards total. And what's cool is it goes through these different seasons, and different cards might activate during different seasons. But a lot of the cards chain together off of each other. So if you play a construction, maybe this person is going to get you a point, or get you maybe a berry just from playing a construction, stuff like that. So there's a lot of synergies with the cards. And what's funny about this game is, even still, like, it's one of those games that in the first season, it goes through the 4 seasons. In the first season, you might have like 2 cards out, and you're like, how on earth am I going to have 15 cards by the end of this game? Sure enough, every single time it happens, you get 15 cards, and you have extra that you can't play. So I just love, okay, maybe I'm going to play these green cards. I'm going to get a lot of benefit I'm forgetting when the seasons activate, maybe in the springtime or something like that. It's going to give me that initial benefit, from playing the farm and the husband and wife. But it's not that strong. It's not going to get me that many points at the end of the game. So maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to play some of these, yellow or gold legendary cards. That's going to, say I get, X amount of points per, the purple. I'm forgetting all the symbology and the names for stuff. But so it's really cool. It doesn't take itself too seriously. But you do got to think out your turns a little bit. It is a worker placement as well. So if you place your worker to get maybe 2 twigs, that the next player can't place their worker there. And then so what's also cool is that if you're done your season, you've placed all your workers, you can't do anything else, you can't play any more cards, you take all your workers back. But the other players might not be at that same stage. They might have 2 workers still. So all the players might be at different stages in the game. It's pretty unique that way. So, and what's cool is, you see the other player, they can't do anything else, and you're eyeing up that one space to get that stone and resin, right? So you're just waiting. Okay, they took all theirs back. Finally, I can place my worker down there. I really love the artwork in this, just the world, being immersed in that. The expansions are really nice as well. I don't really play with the I forget what the one is called, where you're traveling across like mountains. It has event cards and stuff like that. It's not New Leaf. It's not Pearlbrook. I'm forgetting the name of it. I'm not sure. And then with this campaign, they actually brought in, was it 2 other expansions? Yes, 2 other expansions. One was New Leaf. It added this train element, which I think is really cool. I think I'll be playing with that every time. And then also they revamped the solo mode. So the old solo mode, I think I never played with that. I want to say it might be like a beat your own score. I could be completely wrong. But in this, they have the Night Weave. I have a solo playthrough of it, but I really like what they did. This spider is going to be coming on the board, taking certain cards, locking you out of spaces. But yeah, Everdell, just love the world, and love the simplicity of it. It's really cool. Spirecrest, that's it. Thank you, Rufus. Yeah. Yeah, I know. This is probably, yeah, I think the Edge, Dawnfall, and Euthia, these are humongous boxes, the biggest boxes. Okay. Let's see. Is the stream acting up a little bit? I don't think so. All right, it looks good. Let's see. play Far Shore instead. Not that won't cost much. I know. Outrageous. I refuse to get Far Shore just because of how much Everdell stuff I have and how much I spent on it. Play without the wooden lighthouse. With the wooden tree. Okay, it looks like, is the stream acting up at all? Looks like it might be a little choppy. Okay. Let's give it a second to catch up. I don't know if it's... It looks like it's good. Is the stream still good, guys? Okay, audio is smooth. Okay. All right, I'm looking back at it now. It looks like it might be okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, 42. This one was a little surprise. Oh, I see. Yeah, I have the wooden tree as well, Rufus. Yeah, I'm that guy. Okay. All right, so this one was a surprise to me, and I'll explain why this probably would have been ranked higher had I not played it recently. And I know that sounds weird, but this is Hoplomachus. So, and this is including, I used to have the original Hoplomachus. I had a lot for it and remastered. I played the old stuff a lot. Played this a bunch of times as well. And I know I mentioned that it's because I played it, and I'll explain why. But this is a, CTG game. It's got the basic, play out your units. Then you're going to move the units, perform their abilities, and attack. It's got that CTG bread and butter across all their games. But with this one, you're these, you're gladiators battling in an arena. The artwork in this one especially is super cool. In the original, I think they had like clip art or free stuff that they found. It was their first game. Really enjoyed that one as well. So you have these different factions, and for the most part, all of the factions are the same. You're going to have an archer. You're going to have a person that, right when you play them, they're going to be able to move. You're going to have like a tank. So basically, all of your units across all the factions are mostly the same, with the exception of like 3 or 4. And so the factions are going to have, between those 3 and 4 units, it might have stuff like throw units. So if you're adjacent to a unit, you might be able to throw a unit. One faction might be to pull units closer, stuff like that. And then I believe the tactics are slightly different as well across the factions. So really cool. In this, I've never played skirmish against another player. This is solely based on solo. And for the solo mode, there's 2 different ways that you can play the game. One way is you're going to be going up against, I believe they're called scions. So there's like, I want to say like 6 or 7 scions, something like that. So you're going to try to last as long as you can. So you're going to be playing your units. Once your units die, they go into a graveyard per se. And as you defeat units, you're going to go up on this, I forget what the track's called, this glory track. And if you hit different tiers, you're going to get different benefits. One of those tiers might be to get your units back, maybe some tactics back. If you get to a certain tier, you can activate your main hero, which you can't do at the beginning of the game. So you can only have a certain amount of units on the board. So you're going to be fighting up against this main boss, Scion. You're going to have these 2 arena units that are on the board. So it can be really tricky. There's a lot of movement involved with that. You don't want to lose the units. So you kind of just want to see how many Scions you can beat. I don't want to say impossible to beat all the Scions. I haven't even come close. I think I did the solo mode of that mode, and I want to say I defeated like 3 or 4 Scions, something like that, which I thought was really good. But after playing that mode time and time again, while it can be cool to try to see how far you can get, the last like 2 times I played, I just had this sense of like, there wasn't a true accomplishment. You could say the accomplishment was, well, you never beat 4 Scions, and now you did. That can be an accomplishment. But I also want the ability to beat them all. And I just feel like it is so hard because once you get to that like third, like it, depending on your rolls as well, you can just have absolute dog shit rolls. And so if your units are just getting taken out easily, and we're talking units with like 2 or 3 health, if you get your one guy, well, each unit there's like 2 different 2 units of each type. So you might have 2 guys with 5 health. But even with 5 health, that might be taken out in 1 turn if you're getting hit by the boss, 2 turns if you're getting hit by the arena units. So even with 5 health, which is kind of the most you can add to that from tactics, you still might get taken out from some bad rolls. So by the time you get to like the 4th or even 3rd Scion sometimes, you just might not have that many units left, and it can just kind of be a little defeating, especially if, there's no sense of I'm going to, defeat all the Scions, if that makes any sort of sense. So I do like it, but again, after playing that mode so many times, I'm just kind of good on that. The other mode, which is going to be the sole reason why I keep this game, I need to play it a few more times, is that there's different shards on the board, and those bosses act a little different. Instead of playing through multiple Scions through the course of the game, you're going to be playing against one boss for that entire game. But that boss is going to do different things. And so throughout the course of the game, you're going to be going and maybe activating the shards. You can place these different units that might have range, but they can't move. I think that way is a lot more unique in what each game is going to bring, by still following the same kind of mechanics. So I need to play that mode again, but I do like it. But again, just playing those last few times on that other mode, I'm just, if the other mode doesn't provide, if it's not that unique to me anymore, I might be getting rid of this. Yeah. I was thinking about getting a playthrough of it. I know there's been a lot of talk about Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. I think I might get a solo mode playthrough at some point. Let's see. CTG. No issues. Okay. Now, Victorum is not on this list. It probably could have been. But throughout the course of me owning it, I've only played through 2 chapters of a whole game. So I didn't want to put that on yet. I want to play through a little bit more. Now, from learning the game, even the time spent, in off-camera learning it, to even just the time spent on stream, it's probably well over 10 hours. I guess you could say it probably could have made an appearance, but I wanted to at least play through a whole campaign before I threw it on. Let's see. So this is a lot different than Victorum, though. This is a lot different than Victorum. Victorum is completely different. It's got different cards that are going to, set up the battlefield in different ways. It's got different arenas for that, which behave differently. Different factions that have a lot of different units than this. So Victorum is a lot different than this. Again, I haven't played the skirmish mode of this against another player, but playing that mode that I did over and over and over again, I would sell it if that was the only mode. The saving grace is going to be that other one potentially. So I don't know, open remaster because of Victorum's lack of mitigation. A lack of mitigation is a big thing. If you just roll bad, I know that's in a lot of games, but this one especially, dude, like I said, some units, I think there's one that even has, I don't think there's one that has 1 health, but 2 health. A lot of them are 2 and 3 health. If they get taken out, dude, and they can get taken out in 1 shot, and it's just crazy. And it just feels like, oh, man. And as big as this battlefield is, and that's one of the things I like about this over Victorum, I do like the different, variants of the boards in Victorum. But there's something about Victorum. I wish there was a little bit more open space for maneuver, because I feel like a lot of times I can get cornered in a space, especially if there's like a lot of obstacles and stuff. But in this, I love the open battlefield. But even so, a lot of these bosses, even the units, they have a decent amount of movement. So before you know it, they're already on top of you. And movement isn't as big of a factor. It's still big, moving away from other units to avoid, some attacks. But, if you have 3 movement, they might have 3 movement. So even though you move away, they're just going to get on top of you and then attack. So while the bigger board, I do like it, once they get on top of you, it loses a little bit of maneuverability. I need to try Quick Torum as well. That might be the way I go, Kyle. Yeah. Let's see. Victorum is going to be my happy place. Victorum is campaign driven. It is. Yes, it is, Dimitri. Yep. Yeah, they do drastically different things. Now, what's cool is, I believe, with the new campaign, you can mix and match units. So you could use some of Victorum's units inside of this, which I think is cool. And you know what? That might be a saving grace if you could use a lot of these unique units in that mode that I'm talking about, that I was kind of becoming meh on. That could be potentially, that could be really cool. That could be really cool. Yeah, once you get an idea what's coming, better prepare. Yeah. I liked Victorum. I did like Victorum. The problem that I had, especially when I was playing that game, and a lot of these games as well, is that some just aren't that good for streaming. And so that's what happened with Victorum. Like, each act or whatever it was like 3+ hours. And starting at 9, it just, that's what happened with Oathsworn. So some of the games are just not good with streaming. That's why I switched to 3 chapters in Uprising, because it's just, and if I'm not streaming, at least back then, if I wasn't streaming, I wasn't really playing much games off camera. I'm starting to play a little bit more off camera than I was before. So that's just what happened with Victorum. I was like, I don't want to spend 3.5 hours. I'll just stream a different game. So then I just didn't get back to it, but I need to. Mix and match, and that could be really cool. I'd be interested to check that out. Okay, number 41. This was probably the biggest. Maybe not. Maybe Raiders was the biggest drop. Raiders of the North Sea. If Raiders wasn't the biggest drop, this was a huge drop. And this is 41. This is Scythe. This was, what was this, my number 10 last year? I think this was my number 10, which is wild. So, I love Scythe. This is probably the first game that I had that I was like, this is my favorite game. This will always be my favorite game. So I got this game early on. I believe this was the next purchase after. So the way it worked for me, if I'm remembering correctly, I'd have to check with my wife. It was Talisman, which got me hooked on the board games. From there, I started researching games, and then we got. It's a little tin box. I think I still got it. It's a co-op game. You're traveling around. What was it? I'm trying to remember, but it was kind of like a pandemic. Working together, trying to complete the mission, and the tiles were turning. I don't know if it was the water one. It wasn't the sand one. I'm forgetting. But either way, after that game, it was Scythe. Jumped right into Scythe. Worker placement, action selection. So what's really cool about, and I fell in love with this game. I played it a bunch of times. I've played this game solo so many times. I have there's a fantastic, it's called Scythe the Kick. It's an app for the game you can get on Android and iOS. And you can get the different variants that comes with it, the expansions, the wind expansion, wind gamut expansion, all the things. You can get all the things for it. And it really helps you to navigate the solo mode of it. I've actually never played this game just with the solo cards. I've always used the app. Played it a ton. This was like my go-to game on the weekends. Busted out on the dining room table. Get the Scythe the Kick app. I just played the hell out of this game. And then when the app came out on Steam, I played that a lot as well. Seems like, okay, I'm just checking the stream. Played that a lot as well, just against AI. You can play against other players as well. I played this with some buddies. This was actually the first game I introduced to my friends with, modern board gaming. They really liked it as well. I painted some figures of it. I got the legendary box. I got all the stuff sleeved. I just don't have the metal mechs. I even went out to Etsy. I bought, different exploration tokens that look like little campfires. Bought a lot of stuff for this game. I got the coin upgrades, the resource upgrades. Really like this game. I still do. It's got this really cool element of, it's got a top selection and a bottom selection. So depending on what you choose, that's going to allow you to do different things. Maybe that's, upgrade, purchase more mechs, maybe upgrade to make things cost cheaper. You have these worker meeples and your hero. You're going to be moving those around the different places on the board. Some is going to allow you to gain oil. Some's going to allow you to gain, I forget what it's called, food. Some's going to allow you to gain metal and wood. And then so you're going to be trying to gather more of these resources to build different things, build your mechs, upgrade different things. And then also you're going to have these combat cards. You can potentially fight other people. There's the factory in the middle. If you control that, you get more points. You get a special card that's going to add to your selections that you can choose on your turn. The artwork in this is fantastic. I love the art. This 1920s style, with this like slightly modern twist with the mechs. I've played through the whole campaign of this. Really like this game. It's just, I don't know. I've played it a lot. I'm kind of finding I'm good. I even played this in the last few months. It's just, I don't think I'll ever get rid of this game, but I feel like I've almost kind of explored what it has to provide, especially solo. I still will play it sometimes solo in the future, but I think right now I'm good. I'm good on it. It's just going to sit on the shelf for a long time. If I don't ever see myself playing with other people for, a long time even, I got plenty of other games I'd rather pull out with buddies. So I think it's just going to sit. And then especially, like I said, with the app, it just makes getting this out even harder. I did force myself. Like I said, I played it in the last few months. I forced myself. I got all this stuff for it. Let's play it. I played with the special factions that come in the campaign mode for it. So I just feel like it's hit that plateau, and I'm just kind of like, I'm good. I'm good for now. I'm psyched out. I'm psyched out a little bit. Forbidden Jungle. That's it, Mike. Yeah, good call. Or it might have been Forbidden Desert. I think it actually was Forbidden Desert. It was one of those. I know. Yeah, maybe top 80 or 100 in 2 years. Yeah, it's just, I still really like it. And if somebody says, dude, let's play Scythe, I like it. And you know what? It's like, at first I was like, hey, this is going to be combat. Look at these mechs. I know this has been talked about a bunch of times, but it's not really a combat game. You can get into combat. And what's cool is you're going to be trying to go for, whoever gets 6 stars, the game's going to end, and whoever has the most points wins. But it's not a combat game. You can get into combat, but especially if you're playing with other players, you're probably not going to get in. I wish the combat was a little bit different as well. But because it's like I feel like at certain points everybody's going to be playing the max amount that you can through the card and through the dial, what you set the dial to, and then it comes down to, I believe, whoever's the defender or the attacker wins, and it just gets kind of so I just find myself, doing other things besides attacking. But even when I found that out, I was kind of bummed, but I quickly got over that. So I don't know. The artwork is fantastic. Dude, I got the playmat. I got the larger board. I got everything for this game, dude. I was obsessed with this for a long time. This was a fantastic game, but it's just, again, I'm psyched out a little bit. Psyched out. I'd be happy to play with other people too. And one of the things I wish there was a little bit more in this game was player interaction. You're kind of talking out your turns and stuff like that. You're wondering about what everybody's doing, but at the end of the day, you're just kind of focusing when you're part of the land. It starts to become interesting a little bit more with other players when you start expanding out onto the board a little bit, but that might not be till a few turns in. So maybe if there was a little bit more player interaction, but either way, I still really like the game. I'm just a little psyched out. Sleeping on the couch rest of our marriage. Hasn't hit the table since we finished Rise of Fenris. That's it. Fantastic campaign too. Finished campaign and they just moved on from it. Yeah, I think the solo is really well done. The app is fantastic. I've just played this a bunch of times. I'm just kind of good on it. I'm murked by a bunch of gear loss. It got murked by a bunch of other stuff, dude. I gotta be honest. And when I was on Pub Meeple and this showed up against other games, I was like, man, I can't just rate this higher based on nostalgia alone. I have great memories playing with everybody from it was my wife and stepson. They played the Rise of Fenris campaign with me. They played a bunch of times as well. Really great memories playing this game, but again, I'm just psyched out, man. I love that, specifically the metal mechs. Yeah, and there was a time, dude, I was gonna get the metal mechs as well, but I'm kind of happy I didn't. It's almost like a solo experience, but it's not. I think they did a really good job on the solo. I think it's really well done. And, if you wanted to get the core game based on solo, man, I'd say do your research, watch a lot of videos. I think I have at least one solo play. I don't think I have two. I think I just have the one. But it does a lot of cool stuff. The different factions each have their own abilities and stuff like that. And what's cool is, too, not just the factions have their own abilities, but at the start of each game, so you're going to get a faction board and I forget what it's called, but a different board for the bottom part of the, not the bottom part of the action, but a different board. So it might be the industrial board. So on that industrial board, maybe upgrading different things might cost a little bit cheaper. Maybe that only costs 3 oil, whereas on this different player board, it costs 4 oil, right? Or on their board, purchasing mechs, that costs 3 instead of 4. Or it might have 2 upgrade spaces. So if you upgrade that and you cover up those spaces, now mechs only cost 2 to upgrade. But on my board, the max I can get that down to is 3 metal to purchase a mech. So it's got different boards, which are really cool. I like the game. It's just, yeah, it is quite a table presence for sure. Yep. Yeah, so that is 50 to 41. My plan is going forward. I think I'm going to do the next countdown on Friday, and then the following week I'm going to have the last 3 videos. So again, Friday is going to be 40 to 31, and then so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of the following week I'm going to do the other 30. So really cool games coming up, especially that 20 is looking really good. But yeah, and I think at this point, I don't think I'm going to do a top 23 I know SBGK's got a great video. It's doing very well, by the way, SBGK, so congrats on that. But if you want to look at some top games of 2023, check out his channel and his video. He does some great work. And I think I'm just going to do top games of all time. And then next year, I'm going to try to hit it hard. If everything stays smooth, I'm going to try to hit next year, hard. I don't know about 3 streams a week, but I want to try to get back into these kinds of, I want to get into these lists a little bit more, talking about like revisiting old games, what I thought, then versus what I think now. I want to review more games. I think I'm going to get into reviews a little bit more, maybe recording stuff. That's the goal. Some things I say don't ever come to fruition, but that's the goal. That's the goal for now. You got it, brother. You got it, man. So yeah, that is 50 to 41. So, and yeah, I think we will call it there. And so again, Friday is going to be 40 to 31. I think that's helpful. The reviewing. Yeah, I want to get into that because I put a lot of time into those games that I play through on the channel. Playthroughs are never going to go away, but I do want to review some more games. I think that could be a lot of fun. I want to change up the way I review them a little bit more. I think I have a little bit better understanding of like what I would recommend to somebody. So I want to change it up a little bit. Keep them relatively short. Don't do this hour-long review about some stuff. Keep it short, maybe 20 minutes or something like that. Maybe shorter. I don't know. But we'll see. Let's see. You mentioned Oathsworn earlier. What do you think about the combat? I like Oathsworn. I think Oathsworn is really good. I know a lot of people are saying I think Rufus gives me flack sometimes for not playing the campaign on the stream anymore. But I did 4 playthroughs on the stream, which were a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing the game, was because back then, along with Victorum, is if I did a stream, the story part is a lot longer than you might be expecting. That could be like an hour plus. And then the combat is going to take a long time too. And especially in that game, each combat, the boss is going to act vastly different than the other bosses. There might be multiple enemies versus one. And so it can be easy to get lost in what exactly that they're doing, especially is a problem that I think that I did with mine was I think I was trying to control too many characters. One of the beautiful things about the game is you could even technically do a not fully control anyone in your party. Just using I even forget what you do for that. I think you have a card, and then a certain amount of you have 2 gems. I forget what it does exactly, but for activations, or you can fully control your guy. You have 8 gems. You can allocate those to different things. And I think I was controlling too many guys. So from the story, from the length of the battle, with the battle acting a lot different from the bosses, while controlling 3 or 4 characters, the streams became way too long. So it just was I can't stream Oathsworn anymore. But I do really like the game still. I do really like it. The combat is very unique in the way it works. No grief, Oathsworn. I just saw yourself go. Yeah, it's one of those games for sure. For sure. Yeah, I will probably never stream that game again. Maybe one day. We'll see. But I left off wherever the streams left off. That's where I left off playing the game. All right, Mike, well, have a good night. JF, got to go for now. Youthia, there you go. See you in 40 to 31. Thanks so much. Mike says, I always love Andrew, even if you don't play games anymore. I won't ever stop playing games. Even if the channel went away, I'll never stop playing games. I love the games. Or even if I'm taking a break, I'm still trying to play a game here or there. You know, guys on the Discord, I'll post something occasionally, but you know, it's never about the games. It's about other stuff. But yeah, anyway, okay, we'll wrap it up there. Again, Friday, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 40 to 31. Stay tuned. I will see you guys. Maybe we should do a 2 full and 2 companions. Yeah, or 1 full, 3 companions. I think that would be the way that go. Even off stream, I think I might do that. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you Friday. Thank you so much. Have a great night.